Hey guys, thank you so much and welcome back to Soul Food Sunday with your favorite girl, Korea. And I have a very special guest. I have Miss Joi. Hey Joi.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm great. Tell the people who you are. Who is Joi?
Oh man, Joy's so many people. I can't even keep up. Daytime Joy is a corporate communications team member, digital brand journalist. So what that means is basically I do pretty much whatever is required to tell the story. A majority of it is writing, but sometimes it is photos, videos, editing, working with the TV studio crew at my company. That's daytime. Nighttime is my own small business, which we'll probably get into, I'm sure, selling creative mom journals as well as other merchandise on my site, t-shirts, sweatshirts, all kind of stuff, blogging, sharing links, affiliate links. So kind of doing influencer work at the same time.
Okay.
And then all day job is parent to my 10-year-old daughter.
Wow. Yeah. We do a lot, don't we?
We do a whole lot.
How did you jump into entrepreneurship?
Yeah. So basically, when I started with blogging, if I'm just 100% transparent, it became one of those things where it just wasn't really creating a lot of revenue. It was fun to do, which is great, but when you wear so many hats, it's kind of like, okay, I need to be making some money from this.
Right.
So one of the things that people will always tell you as far as blogging is that one of the ways is to start creating merchandise. So that's exactly what I did to start my small business, was to get into merchandise that was affiliated with my blog.
Okay. I remember, honestly, I saw you online years prior to following you, but I did not know it was you until you reposted a picture.
Oh, okay.
It was a picture when you graduated college.
Yes.
So you went
Which wasn't too long ago. Yeah, it's funny because when I tell people like, yeah, when I graduated from college, because I'm 36, so they're thinking like this was like a long time ago. No, it's actually like 6 years ago.
That was some time ago, though.
It was some time ago, but when you talk about college with people that are in their mid-30s or 40s, they're expecting you to talk about at least 10 plus years.
That's true.
And that's not my case. Yeah.
That's true. Tell me, how did that happen? Like, how did you end up going viral, or what was that season? More importantly, what was that season of your life like?
Yeah, so I had just graduated in 2015 from the Jackson State University. That's how you have to say it. From Jackson State. And basically, when I had finished, I had graduated summa cum laude with a 3.9 GPA.
Wow.
But the added factor to that was I had took 10 classes in one semester, my last semester, and no one had ever done that before at my school. Then come to find out, as people dug a little deeper, I knew it, of course, but I was also a single parent of a 3-year-old at the time. What is this, 2011? Yeah. Well, no, she was 3 when we moved down there. So by the time I graduated, she was 4 going on 5.
Okay.
So I was also working part-time.
Wow.
Also, one of the requirements of my senior year was I had to do an internship. Wow. So I had an internship, I had a job, I had a child, I had 10 classes, and it was just me. So a story was written about me by a really popular page called Because of Them We Can. They're super popular now, even more, because this was kind of when social media was kind of gaining its traction at the time. And so basically they featured my story, my post that I had wrote on Facebook, and it pretty much blew up from there. I had a ton of moms that were considering going back to school or that were in school, just basically asking me, how did you do it? And tips and all of this stuff. And I tried to reply to as many as I could, but when I got to like 200 and something, I'm like, okay, I can't give all these one-on-one responses.
Okay.
And so for years, my English teacher from high school, a couple other people were encouraging me to blog, but there was no way I could fit blogging into the kind of schedule that I had.
Right.
So once I had finished and once I had kind of built up a need or an audience that needed me, then it was clear to me what I should be actually blogging about.
Yeah.
Now, what's funny is I don't blog a lot about like my personal life as far as like my job. I kind of leave that for LinkedIn,
right,
or, you know, mom, dating, stuff like that. But I am pretty transparent when it comes to side hustles, how to make money, how to try to balance that livelihood between all of those things. And that's kind of how it took off from there.
Yeah.
So what I do is basically, instead of trying to blog things per se, or, you know, talk to each person that reaches out to me, I just try to show what my life is like. So I spend a lot of time with Instagram stories and things like that, just to kind of show how I balance it, what I do in the mornings, what I'm doing in the afternoons, staying up at night, working on my business, working.
Listen, because there was a season where you were like juggling 12 different things at once.
So even after I graduated, after doing 50 million things while in school, then it became, now I need to do 50 million things to make money now that I'm done. So yeah, I started getting this title of like Queen of Side Hustle. Because I was doing everything at one point. And I know which point you're talking about too.
Yeah.
Because I got burnt out. But which is funny because I'm like slowly recouping from that burnout. Like if you notice, I don't be doing all of that all the time anymore. I can't.
It's our bodies are different anyway.
No, so I was doing shipped grocery delivery service. And this was literally all at once. Like you said, I was doing shipped grocery delivery. I was doing Uber. I was doing Lyft. I was, gosh, I hate to say this too, because it's probably not good, but I was taking classes for people online.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Not supposed to do that, but people were paying me too. So I was doing that. I would do the easy things that came easy to me. Like, you know, writing papers, or don't come to me about no math class. So I can't help you there, but English. I took a couple Spanish classes for people. So I was doing that, and then of course blogging and the influencer work, and still working, you know, in corporate America. But yeah, I had a good list of side jobs too.
Okay. What was the drive underneath you, literally all that ambition, basically?
It was just trying to make it, really. So after school, I didn't want to return back home to Detroit. I wanted to stay south, but not as slow as a pace as I was in Jackson, Mississippi. So I decided to give Atlanta a try. I know a couple people here, but no like real support system or anything. So I moved to Atlanta, and after I paid the U-Haul, I had maybe $200-300 to my name with a kid. Like,
wow.
I did not have a job lined up, but I did have an interview prior to coming here. I had one interview, and I was scheduled for my second one. But I knew I had experience. So it wasn't like even though I was fresh out of college, I was older. So it's not like I hadn't worked before or anything. So I had the experience. Now I had the degree and a 3.9. There's no way they're going to tell me no. So I just.
And the confidence, right?
Yeah. So I was just like, I'm just going to go. And if I don't get that one, I just have to apply to something else. So I ended up getting that job. And it was the highest paying job I've ever had.
Okay.
I was making, do you cuss on this show?
Yeah, you can cuss.
Okay. I was making a shit ton of money. I was making a shit ton of money. And life was going good. But the thing was, is it was going really well, but I was starting from nothing. So it would have seemed like a lot of money to a lot of other people if I was starting at a higher place in life, but I literally came here with nothing. So it helped me get at least back on my feet.
Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. How do you feel like that changed you? Like that going through that season, going through those seasons, like changed you and helped you or equipped you to where you are right now?
Well, the thing was, I guess it goes back to probably the question you asked me before, what kind of motivated me to do that? And it was the fact that I knew what kind of life I wanted to provide for my kid. Um, I did not grow up without a lot of opportunities. My mom always kept us busy, whether it was swimming, ice skating, flute, piano, camp here, camp there, sport here, sports there. I know that that was the reason why I didn't get into a lot of stuff that people my age when I was a teenager was getting into, being from Detroit. My mom just kept us busy. And I really feel like that contributed to who I am today, where I'm able to interact with different people from different walks of life because I was doing so much.
Right.
And so I knew that I wanted to put her in those type of things, and those things cost money. And I wanted to, you know, make sure that she had good experiences. But I also think subconsciously, I was trying to make up for her not having both parents in the home. So sometimes we as women, you know, because we have that added responsibility,
Talk
I
about
didn't,
it.
yeah, like I didn't want her to lack, you know, and I feel like a lot of that was because I wanted her to have as much of a normal two-parent, without the two-parent household as possible.
How do you navigate? How is it, or how is it navigating being a single mom, running a side hustle or running a business at this point, and then, you know, navigating a 9 to 5 too, while still trying to make sure she's thriving? What, I mean, how?
Well, I know, I don't know how. If I had an answer for it, I think everybody would take that and run with it and do what they can. But I think that it's hard for me to really put my finger on the how, because every day my how changes, you know, like sometimes a method might work for so long.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you have to switch it up and pivot depending on what's going on. So
Yeah.
I probably would say just remaining to stay motivated. Sometimes I wish I could say it was, you know, stay focused, but I have trouble staying focused. So it's not that, but I think it's just more or less knowing why than the how.
You know why you have trouble staying focused though?
Yes, because I'm a Pisces. And so like I could be focused, but it doesn't last long because my interest doesn't last long in things. So it's hard for me to stay focused if I'm, because then again, it goes back to the
But you
why,
love
right?
people though.
I do love people. Yeah. Most people. I love most people. You know, the internet, unfortunately, has ruined that for me.
Really? Talk about it.
Yeah, it just, you know, and that I think that's another reason why I have trouble opening up with my personal life more or less online. You know, I share a lot of things and I'm transparent, but there's that fine line that you have to draw
Right.
between transparency and showing your entire life.
Right.
And unfortunately, I don't, because people are just weird nowadays online. You know, you give them an inch and they can take a mile, basically. So with that being said, it could be like, you know, let me talk about, I don't know, tips on how to be a single mom and date, right? This
Right.
is for example.
Right.
You know, then it goes into somebody nudging even further. Well, who are you dating? Or things like that. And it's just like, wait a minute. Like, I wasn't trying to get personal.
Right. So when maintaining, because you are, would be labeled literally as an influencer online, like creating for someone who would be looking to maybe become an influencer online, how do you create proper boundaries and making sure, like, because I'm sure you probably even go out in Atlanta or go somewhere and somebody may have seen you online or something like that, like, and still trying to like maintain like my sense of normalcy, but then, or your sense of normalcy, but then at the same time saying, be like, hey, understanding that you still carry some type of influence, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So as far as like keeping boundaries, I think the best way to do it is just to focus on what it is you want your audience to actually gain from you. So, I mean, if your personal brand is just you and you're constantly selling, yourself and your lifestyle, then it's going to be a little bit more difficult to set boundaries. But because I do sell merchandise or I do work with brands, those are things that I try to stick to as far as how I'm helping my audience.
Right.
So that's one of the ways that you find your niche or your niche, whatever, is to figure out what exactly people are demanding from you and how you can help them.
Yeah.
So I just try to stay focused on how I can actually help people.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your journals and your Women First brand.
Yeah.
How did that come about? What was the motivating factor behind that? And talk to us.
Yeah, so Woman First, then Mom was something I came up with in regards to finding the balance. And so a lot of people will say, well, I'm a mom before anything. Okay, well, yeah, in a sense that is true. But what's more true is that if you're not in the right mental space as a woman, you can't be in the right mental space as a mom. And those are things that I've learned over the years, is that if I'm not good,
anybody good.
Yeah, right. Like, I'll go off on my kid or anybody, and that's not right.
Right.
So if I am in a good place, in a good headspace, then that means that I can be a better mom.
Right.
Essentially. So that what that means is that I'm putting self-care first. I'm putting, things in order to make me better as a person, as a woman, to make sure that I'm, doing that as a mom.
Okay. And that goes right along with the journals as well.
Yeah. So the creative journal that I wrote, it's over 100 prompts of creativity, basically.
Okay.
And the full title of that one is Woman First, Then Mom, a creative journal for moms to write in while hiding in the bathroom. So it's a clever title to give you a sense of this is going to be a clever type creative journal.
Right.
So there's questions in there that get a little bit deep. There's different chapters, for the religious mom. There's, excuse me, things in there for, not the religious mom, it's more the spiritual mom.
Right.
There's for the working mom. So it just depends on, what kind of mood you're in, but there's stuff in there for all types of moms, basically.
Okay. And you released those last year, right?
I did.
How did it go? Like, was that one of your like biggest product releases so far? And
it was. It still is to this day. So I guess I don't do a lot of releasing numbers either, which I probably need to start doing for motivation purposes. But yeah, when I released my journal, I want to say within 24 hours, I think I sold almost 200 copies.
Wow.
Yeah, which is a lot considering it was the first journal. It's not like I had released a book before, so people could anticipate, a new journal for me.
Exactly.
So for me, it was successful in a sense of I had never done anything like it before.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so I had to navigate through learning about shipping books,
That's a whole
the best way to do that so that they don't get damaged, the best way for people to use their credit card. Like I also run my own site.
Okay.
So every once in a while I have to do site maintenance. And right before I had released the journal, I did some site maintenance. And
Okay.
I'm not an IT person, so
Right.
this was difficult for me, but I'm also cheap. So like, oh, you can learn anything on Google or YouTube,
Right.
right? Yeah,
Right.
no, that's why people go to school for stuff like that. But anyways, yeah, man, I went to change my theme so
Mm-hmm.
it could look more prettier,
Right.
and it ended up cutting off the credit card option for people on my site.
Oh.
So they were only able to use PayPal. And this went on for like, oh my God, I was up every night for like 2 weeks straight trying to get this together.
Oh my goodness.
Going back and forth with the hosting company and the domain and all of that. Trying to learn how to code. I don't know how to code. Stuff like that. But I finally got it.
Okay.
I hired somebody. That's how I got it.
Okay.
Paid them and they fixed it. And so yeah, then I was finally able to release the journal. So the journals have been sitting for like a while.
Wow.
I could not sell them.
Right.
Yeah, and so I used that money from the journal to contribute to buying a new house.
Wow. Wow. So that's important though, because a lot of times you have people who try to quit their jobs or
Yeah.
who try to really not, maybe play with the money that they're using in getting their business with.
Yeah.
Instead of having either putting it back into their business or using it towards a greater good, right?
Yeah, and a lot of people get fooled by that too, unfortunately, which is probably why I don't drop a lot of numbers, because if you don't have a business mindset, or if you don't know business terms or logic, to just anybody that sees those numbers, a lot of that is like gross sales, right? So what I mean by that is you haven't taken any account into how much those people have paid for their products, how much they have paid for shipping, the overhead costs, if they have employees on payroll. When people see those numbers, while it's motivating and it's fantastic that they're making that kind of money, unfortunately, somebody that might not be familiar with the terms, they're like, oh, this person's making millions. I'm just going to quit my job, go out on a limb, you put my ass out there, and I'm just going to make it. I mean, they're doing it. I can do it. Yeah, that sounds great. But did you read the fine print? Or you don't know, like, who those people have to pay. And at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, they made 2, but then they had to pay 1.5 out, So those are things that I think people need to take into consideration before leaving their corporate job as well. For me, corporate, I've always kept that because it's just been a safer option for me to have that, as far as insurance and steady paycheck. And, those are just things that I have to have as a single parent.
Right. Absolutely. What would you say has been like your biggest accomplishment so far of like just period
In life?
business? Yeah.
Staying alive. Does that count? In a pandemic, I think that counts now. Like, people used to say that and they'd be like, yeah, okay. No, like, we really mean it now.
Right. It's for real, right?
Yeah, it's for real. Like, my biggest accomplishment is being mentally sane, stable. There were parts of my life where I couldn't say that. So for me,
that's what it is.
I literally have genuine happiness and peace. So because my life is peaceful,
right.
I'm very aware of who I let disturb that peace or try to. So for me, success is subjective anyways.
Right.
So I could sit here and say, yeah, I'm making the most money I ever made, in which I am, but then, I might get a bill like this one here, or something, and all of a sudden I don't feel successful anymore because there goes my money. So you can't really base it on that either. Because it's like, as soon as you get some money, here comes somebody looking for it, and you got to pay those people.
That's so real. That's so
Yeah.
real.
So as much as I want to say, oh yeah, I feel successful, my bank account is at such and such, and then somebody gonna want something.
Do you feel like on the when you took the assessment, one of your highest ones was a S, and your I was the highest, and then your S was the next. So what that means is that's how you tend to pace in your environment. You're pretty stable, patient, and you like stability. You're dependable. But also, what it means that there could be because you're patient. Sometimes you can possibly miss out on opportunities. Do you feel like that has shown up for you?
Yeah. I think, and that's funny because a lot of that has come with age and experience. I think I'm definitely more patient and calm now that I'm a mom. Like, mom Joy is different than 19, 20, 21-year-old Joy. Like, those are two different people. Even now, versus 5 years ago. The thing is I think that I can probably miss out on opportunities because I have to make sure I'm also picking the safe option. And sometimes the safe option is not necessarily the better one, but I have to think for two people. It's not just me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a high S too. I'm a high S.
Are you?
I am.
So I'm high. You said high S.
Your highest one is an I, and that's how you
an I.
people.
Because I know I took a test like this similarly with our HR department at a job I had years ago.
Yeah.
And that I feel like that was the same.
Yeah. They don't change too much. Your highest one was an I. That's how you interact with people. So,
yeah. Tell me more. What else about me?
So you. We'll do some more offline. I don't want to tell everybody, but but your highest one was an I, so it shows up as inspiring, influential, which makes sense in regards to the position that you're in. Yeah. So a lot of times, people don't realize as well is that they try to play an influencer position, but they may truly be a lower I, right?
Yeah.
So it's not going. It's going to be harder for them, i.e., me, for them to try to show up on an online space. That's not necessarily where their strong suit is, right?
Yeah.
So what they have to do, so there has to be avenues that people have to take in order to be able to gain more exposure, right? I.e., what I'm doing. Yeah. So, no, but seriously, but people get frustrated in those spaces and not realizing that certain people have certain gifts, and it has to be able to allow them to not to covet or how social media can cause that whole comparison thing.
Yeah, and I feel really bad for people that are naturally shy or have trouble talking to people, but have a great product, or are very smart. Sometimes, especially with social playing such a huge role in sales, I feel really bad for the people that sometimes I see in some of my groups that I'm in. They say, I have trouble talking on camera and, talking to people, and I don't know what that's like.
Right.
I've always been kind of outspoken, energetic.
Right.
Those are things that come naturally to us. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but everybody doesn't have that. But it doesn't necessarily mean that, they don't have a great product or a great service or anything. They just have trouble putting it out there because they're very afraid of putting themselves out there. And unfortunately with social, you have to do a little bit of your own personal brand with your product or service, because people, they can get a t-shirt from anybody, right? Or they can get one made if they wanted to. Absolutely. But what they're buying into is the person that's actually selling it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So the next question, if you can give one piece of advice to a mom that's out there that is like wanting to go after her dreams, but feel like that she is like literally making ends meet, what would you tell her?
I would tell her it's gonna be okay. I know it might sound bleak, and it's heavy. You know, there's days where it might seem like you like, man, I don't know if I could do this whole life thing. I kid you not. It's like that sometimes, because you got a whole nother person or people, you know, people that have multiple children,
right,
you know, dependent on you and to make it. So my biggest piece of advice to them is probably knowing that it's okay to fail.
mm,
Um, because there's no book on any of this stuff, right? There's people that we can look towards, you know, like myself per se, who has done the work and who has balanced things and seems to be making it.
right,
I say seems because I'm not a millionaire yet. So
right, yeah,
for me, it's like, I'm
right,
making it. Yeah. But for somebody else, you know what I'm saying? I just think that you have to know that it's okay to fail, because there's no blueprint for any of this stuff. You know, there's books and things like that you can read for tips and for help as far as balance and organization and trying to do it all. But don't even try to do it all, because you can't. Like,
absolutely.
you can't. So my thing is, don't be afraid of failing, and knowing that you're going to have to get back up again and try again, because that's part of life.
That's good. That's good. I'm gonna say a couple of words. You tell me what they mean to you.
Uh-oh.
Peace.
Peace, tranquility,
Mm,
no drama.
mm.
I don't do drama.
Don't do drama.
I do not do drama. I mean, I read the Shade Room. That's like I get to be in other people's drama from a distance, but I don't do it in my own life. For me, peace is flexibility too, right? Like being able to do things on your own terms when you want to, and how you say they will go. That's peace.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good. Um, the next one is patience.
When I think of patience, I think of experience.
Mm,
You have to grow patience for
mm,
me, at least. For somebody that has difficulty focusing on one thing for a long time,
mhm,
patience is something that I have learned along the way.
mhm.
Um, Knowing that sometimes you can you can get more out of things by just kind of waiting to see how it plays out on itself,
Mm,
versus always trying to jump the gun on things.
okay.
Yeah.
Decision making.
I'm terrible at decision making. Um, I know it might seem, oh, she seems very decisive. No. Mm. Sorry,
Uh,
I was drinking some water. Decision making is something I struggle with. I struggle with decision making because I play the fence a lot in things. I try to be fair in all aspects of life.
mhm,
So it's hard for me to make decisions because I can always see one side and the other side.
mhm,
And because I play both sides, it's hard for me to make decisions.
mhm.
Also, most people don't know, but um, I don't want to say I used to have anxiety. My anxiety is more under control
Right.
now. So decision making is hard for me because even little decisions feel like they're like life changing.
Okay.
Um, I could be at the store and it's a matter of chicken versus drumsticks versus breasts, right?
Right.
And I will sit there and literally debate for a very long time on
Mhm.
which one is more beneficial, which one is going to taste better. Like everything starts running through my head, and you would think this was just the easiest decision, but there are small decisions sometimes
Right.
that are very overwhelming for me because I do have anxiety.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, but how fair is that to say for someone who may be listening and out there who may have the same exact thing and think that they can't necessarily get to a place, but here you are, an example of someone who still has say, hey, I got these struggles, but I've still gotten here. I've still done this. I still overcame. So I think that's beautiful though. Because like you said, a lot of times when we look online, people can seem, or we can put our own persona on a person, and it not be fair, right?
Yeah, people get really fooled by nice pictures, cool videos. Those are skills, right? Like those are all skills. Those are apps. Those are things that people know are setting a certain aesthetic.
Right.
And unfortunately, other people let that aesthetic kind of seep into real life. And what I mean by that is that just because things look amazing or fantastic, that's because hella filters have been put onto those things. Hella time and skill has been put into making those photos look beautiful.
Right.
But that does not translate into a beautiful life.
Right.
So I it's just,
which it can translate into a beautiful life, but it might not translate into a perfect.
It can, life. But but there's the trouble with that is with social. Social for me is very bittersweet to me. I use it. I do enjoy being on social.
Right.
I kind of have to with having a business, but there are times where I know certain people are not doing certain things, but it looks like it. And it's just frustrating because it can really send the wrong message to people that don't know.
Right.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And they kind of think one equals the other, and it doesn't.
Facts. So we're wrapping up, but I have to ask you one last question, if you don't mind. It's so
that's what I scheduled. There's somebody coming to look at my sink in like an hour, so I'm fine.
Okay.
I need to see if so, and I know you didn't ask this, but I'm talkative. So
what's up?
Talking to another adult that just wants to have a conversation is like refreshing for me. But these people, the sellers in this house,
right?
I've been here 7 months, 8 months now.
Okay.
So, anyways, they put this fancy faucet in my kitchen, and basically it has these sensors on it. So, like if you have hamburger meat or something on your hands, you just have to move your elbow, and the water comes on. Okay, that sounds great, but let me tell you something. It's very frustrating when I have to find the sensor to get the water to come on. And so I'm looking to get another faucet. But when he changes the faucet, they put this fancy faucet in there, but no garbage disposal. I don't have a garbage disposal.
What?
So I've been walking like
in 2021.
Yeah. So I'm on some country shit. I walk my pot outside and I dump it. Yeah, I'm like, the animals can eat it, whatever, because we don't have a dog either. But I literally am in my house shoes on the side of the house, or emptying out some food because I can't put it in the sink. So he's coming to see if I can get a garbage disposal.
That is funny. What has that been an upside though in regards to purchasing? Because I'm currently in a house buying thing right now, and so I'm going for. I love the aesthetics in the older homes, the upgrades and all of that. Like I need me a clawfoot tub. Like this is like right.
So those were clawfoot was on my list too. I didn't get it, but I got the white kitchen. I really wanted a white kitchen.
White kitchen, yes. Okay, okay, we're here, right? But then I'm looking at. Then I think about, sometimes with the home, sometimes they can have like things that happen.
Well, I got lucky. And I will say this is my advice for people that are like you and I think that has to do a lot with our personalities too, with being a high I.
Yeah.
Is that we are really into homes that have a lot of character and just very distinguished from cookie cutter type homes. I could have had a new build. I could have had all of that. I didn't want that.
Yeah.
But then I also knew it was just me, and I also didn't want my house falling apart. either. So what I did was I got a house that was completely renovated. So it's an older home,
right?
And has the character on the outside and exterior, but on the inside, it's got new floors, new HVAC system, new sink, new everything. Basically, they renovated this house and completely gutted it, to make a flip. And so homes, I think that have already been flipped that you don't plan on flipping are probably going to be your best bet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've been looking into. I couldn't decide between new construction. They were saying like there's more equity built in new construction homes or what have you.
Yeah, and then they added a lot of small things to the house too that just made me really fall in love. Like between my bathroom and my room, I have a barn door that separates the two.
I love barn doors.
I adore barn doors, and I didn't think I'd find a house that actually had them. I thought I'd have to put it in there myself. So it had that. The fixtures were just so on point. I couldn't even believe they actually put even that much thought into the light fixtures. Yeah.
I saw your Christmas tree situation.
Yes.
For Christmas.
It's like I'm always in a situation. I need a TV camera to follow me so I don't have to record all this stuff myself, so I stop looking crazy. But
you
always
Christmas in your home.
Yeah. So let me tell the story so your listeners can know what we're even talking about.
Okay.
I'll be quick too, because I know I can go. But basically, I bought this beautiful tree from Home Depot for a lot of money. But I'm like, you know what? It's my first Christmas. This is what we tell ourselves too. My first Christmas, new house. Oh, you gotta have new everything. Well, I had to have new everything because I didn't have a tree anyways.
Right.
But I might as well go all out. Plus, it's artificial. I'm gonna use it again. I sold myself, which is what I do. Another benefit to being the only person in the house. I don't have to ask nobody nothing.
You don't have to ask nobody.
Yeah, no, I don't have to ask anybody for anything. So I bought this beautiful tree, and I went back and forth in my head, like, dang, I shouldn't have spent that kind of money because now I got to put ornaments on it and all of that stuff, right? So anyways, I let it be. Listen, Christmas can run you some money.
On the decoration.
And who knew that garland? Who knew that garland cost so much? And I mean the nice garland. I don't mean cheap garland. You want some real nice garland, it's going to cost you some real nice money.
And I thought I was being
anyways
on a Hobby Lobby on that buy one, get one 50% off, and they get you.
That's me at Publix. They be lying. Ain't nothing buy one, get one free. What it is that one thing is like 50% off or something, and then the other thing is like 50% off, combines it to make it one item.
It's just
you could have just bought one item for 50% off. Anyways, so I bought the tree and I had accepted it. It had been like a day. I was like, okay, whatever, it is what it is. I ended up going to Walmart because I needed some bins because now I need to organize my ornaments.
Right.
So, I watch way too much HGTV. So now I need a bin for each color ornament, right? So, and then somebody's mom on IG had posted, she had a tote for like her red ornaments, her white ornaments. I'm like, oh, that's me. Let me go do this. So I went to Walmart to go get some totes. As I'm walking through Walmart, I see a tree that looks very similar to mine for half the cost.
Right.
Keep in mind, I had already put up the tree. I had took it out the box, took it out my car by myself. Mind you, I had to get help to put the tree in the car.
Right.
I don't know if you live this kind of life, but you get stuff like put in your car and you be like, I have no idea how I'm going to get this out of here when I get home. That's my life.
Well, see, I have a 15-year-old son.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
no.
usually okay on that one.
No. And no. Even when she get 15, I don't see her doing nothing. But so I took it out the car, took it out the box, got it put up. It didn't have any ornaments on it.
Yeah.
So I found this tree. It was similar, but in all honesty, it wasn't as pretty as the more expensive tree.
Right.
But I was okay with that. Plus, I was gonna put ornaments on it anyways to make it what I wanted it to be.
Right. Tell them how the tree turned out.
So I took a picture of the tree. I put it on my IG stories. And I put up a picture of the tree that I had originally bought, and I put up a picture of the tree from Walmart. And then people are like, yeah, you should get your money back, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of people are like, no, that tree looked way different. And so I bought the tree because they didn't have it in stock at the Walmart I was physically at. They had one that was like 15 miles away.
Right.
So I ordered it, and it said, okay, we'll let you know when it's ready for pickup. Okay, cool. So I get home, and I'm like, dang, now I got to take this tree down. It was flocked, so it was white stuff everywhere. Yeah. I had to clean that up. So I took the tree back down, put it back in the box. I have no idea how they got this tree in the box, because when I went to put it back in the box, it didn't fit the same way. So then I also put the box in my truck. Mm-hmm. So I'm in the kitchen. I'm waiting on the email from Walmart to let me know the tree is ready. I'm reading my DMs and everything of people saying, telling me what to do. Yeah. And I'm looking, I'm like, dog, that tree actually looks nothing like the tree I bought. Like, I done took the tree down and everything. I'm like, this don't look nothing like what I bought. Right. And I'm like, this tree is scrawny. But it makes sense. Like, it was $100 tree. You're going to get $100 tree for $100. Right. So I was like, I don't know what to do. Next thing I know, I get an email from Walmart. Yeah. Saying that the tree was never in stock. And that they didn't charge my card. And so, okay. So they made the decision for me. Right. Yeah. So I couldn't get the tree if I wanted to, because they never even had it. And I hate when stores do that. They let you buy something and then you get an email later saying it was never even in stock. So why is me online? Why is this on your site? That happened to me with Pottery Barn twice. I ordered something from them. Then 2 days later, they told me it wasn't in stock. So you let me order it because what? Right. Yeah. Right. If you don't update your inventory, do you know how much y'all stuff costs? Your Pottery Barn. Like, come on, man. Facts. Yeah.
So, as we end the show, I always ask my guests a good question, my favorite question, because it's Soul Food Sunday, right? Yeah. So when we're talking about soul food, I mean, we have to know, what is your favorite dish? What's your favorite soul food? You do some cooking now.
Oh, yeah, I do some cooking. And if I was standing up, you would see that I definitely do some cooking. COVID weight ain't no joke, dog. I'm not even gonna hold you up. This is a mess. So I can't cook the same way I used to cook, because I'm gonna have to tone it down. Okay. But my favorite comfort food is probably mac and cheese. Okay. Of course, it's a signature dish. Yeah. My favorite food overall, and people always laugh at me. I don't care. It's what I like. What is that? White Castle is my favorite food.
Oh my gosh. I'm from Cleveland, and I have never had White Castle.
You never had it?
No.
What kind of childhood did you have? Now I'm asking the questions, because that's a problem. You never had it?
No, I am not interested to try it either.
It gotta be. And don't go to Walmart or something, get them frozen ones. That's not the same thing.
No, I just never. I never wanted White Castle. I was always in Cleveland we have all them like barbecue spots and Mr. Hero.
Yeah. I've been to Cleveland twice.
And but so funny, I should spend my summers in Southfield.
Oh, okay.
Every summer I was in Southfield.
Yeah.
My aunt and uncle lived there. And so my grandmother worked for United Airlines, and they had closed the office in Cleveland. So
okay.
He was staying with them or whatever. So anyway, so yeah, I used to spend my summers there. I still never went to White Castle. Cody, I don't know.
Well, yeah.
No,
That's so sad.
But that is your spot.
But it's even sadder that White Castle is my favorite, so don't feel too bad. But
I mean, you don't like crystals? Do you like crystals?
Nah, yeah, crystals is okay, but it's not White Castle.
See, I haven't tried their burgers either, but I will eat their wings.
Now, what's funny is, yeah, White Castle's my favorite, and then probably second up is like anything with crab. Like, I know it goes from like one side to the other.
To the next.
I love crab meat.
All right.